There's the woo. Hello, people of the intraweb. Welcome to the Wednesday night live show. We're back. It's Wednesday. It's 4 p.m. and we're all here. I'm your host, John Truncali, alongside Mr. Tim, Michelle, the one and only Lindsey, and our special guest, Kim Shilling, is joining us. And
skirt. Sorry.
All right, Lindsey, you're in timeout. Go. No,
okay, I was the one who punched her out. Okay, I got her on the show.
We're back. Lots of stuff to talk about, but we're going to get to know Kim a little bit today, and she's going to give us her vaping journey story. We always love to hear those vaping journey stories, and get to know not Lindsey. We already know Lindsey.
I don't know. I don't know. I think there's a lot of uncovered territory.
I know Lindsey.
Yeah. Tim, should we have Lindsey today again close her eyes and spin in her chair 3 times and see where she lands on the map again?
Yeah, but it doesn't count unless she actually goes there.
Yeah, we'll force her to go.
So pick a good one.
No, I ain't paying for no trip to Italy. If I'm going back to Italy, I'm going myself. Oh, man. Tim,
yeah,
how's your week?
It was pretty good. Made a knee-jerk decision to go to a football game. Went and saw
I saw that. Awesome.
That's it. So I am by name reluctantly a Commanders fan just because I'm an old schooler and I prefer the Redskins. But I digress. So I never get to watch the games living here in Atlanta because they never televise the games down here, and I'm not paying $4,000 a year to get the NFL package. So, So I was explaining to my wife that I'm like, oh, hey, I get to actually watch the game. They're playing the Falcons, and then she's like, well, why don't we go to the game? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I got on StubHub and we bought tickets and we went to the game. It was her first experience at a professional sport in America. Period. Both of our first experience in a dome, if you want to call the Mercedes-Benz Stadium a dome. It does open, but it was closed. So anyway, we got nosebleeds, and the beer and the hot dogs were right at the bottom of the stairs. So we lost the game. What can I say? But it was a fun day, and I can't complain.
Yeah, it's all right, Tim. It's tough being a Commanders fan. Let's swing on over to you, Michelle. Michelle, how's your week going, Michelle?
It's exhausting, but I'm making it through it. I am.
Well, you live in friggin' paradise. I mean, give me a break.
I know it, and I can't enjoy it. I'm too busy. I had a neighbor die that I used to check on. She was an older lady, and I used to check on her all the time. But other than that, she's in a good spot, and I'm in a good spot. So doing good.
All right, and troublemaker Lindsey. How's your week going, Lindsey?
I've been able to hand out condoms through a drive-through window.
Hell yeah!
Life goals, everyone.
Wait. Let me ask the $1 million question, Lindsey. You're not poking any holes in those, are you?
I am not. No.
Okay. All right.
No. But so. Okay, I know you all seen it on social media, but it's actually like harm reduction collective that does free HIV testing and everything. So, and I'm working, part-time job. I'm working at Patches Liquors, which, anywhere. I'm like, now I'm totally giving out where the hell I live at in Florida or whatnot. I mean, they've got monopoly on the liquor stores around here. But they have like this. I had to go fill out the condom box yesterday when I was working. Yeah. But and there's just random condoms. You know, you got Trojan's, you got these other brands, but there's these like circle ones, and remind me to grab some for the show so I can show you that they were doing like graphics on them. Which again, like, what is Kim Shilling, you know? And if you've seen it too, working at this place, I mean, last night. It's boring as hell. Like, you know, people aren't coming in. So what do? I clean, you know, I was raised that way. You know, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. So I've been
Lindsay's sorting condoms.
So what she's saying is she's dusting the condoms.
I wasn't dusting any of the condoms. No, I've been dusting the liquor bottles, which you can put a condom on some of them and everything, if you know what I mean.
Well, you know, Texas has that policy. You buy a bottle of liquor, you get a free gun. You can do that in Florida. Buy a bottle, get a free condom.
Yeah. You know, or at least in Okaloosa County. But I mean, I'm just amazed by all the flavors and liquors now, especially chocolate Crown.
Yeah.
So that's how my week's been going.
Yeah.
So Lindsay condoms. That's her own job. She dusts the bottles, and then she stands out front with a sign that says like, "No chocolate liquor for kids. No chocolate liquor for kids."
It wasn't even actually okay, because we have like because it's a package store bar. So we have all the liquors. There's more flavored vodkas.
Yes,
a lot. It's a clear liquor, and that's easier to like mix with stuff. But I was surprised by all the Crown. Actually, no, I was really taken aback by how much Jim Beam has like, all these flavored beams. And it was just like oof. But like Crown chocolate, like I mean,
I'm gonna stick to my old whiskeys.
But like oof, like. I remember when Apple came out, and it was just like you had to mix it with if you drink Crown, or if you like whiskey, you had to mix it with like regular Crown because it was just too sweet.
It's too sweet, yeah.
Too flavorful, too sweet. And again, like it's just amazing. It's just like I'm working in this whole place that's like 21 plus, and these are all these flavors around me, and it's like, you know what? I believe I've heard a lawmaker say that wasn't good enough for nicotine. That was only, for kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And joining us for the first time on the Wednesday Night Live show, Kim. Kimmy, before we get into details about your life and how you got to be where you're at there in the vape advocacy world and vape world and industry, how's your week?
It's been really great. I've got a 2-year-old niece that keeps me running, and I babysit her. I took my mom to Myers, and I got home feeling really good about it. And I remembered my son's in Germany for Oktoberfest. Yeah, my son's in Germany for Oktoberfest. My daughter's touring the UK for her 10th anniversary. My daughter-in-law is in Croatia, and I made it to Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
We're not the same.
We're not, yeah. I know that feeling.
You have to explain what Myers is and the penny horse is.
Oh, Myers is like a Publix. Mm-hmm. For those of you in the South, out West, I don't know what it's like. But they have a penny horse named Sandy in every Myers, and every drunken adult in Michigan has got on it at least once.
Yeah, hell yeah. I would.
Lindsay's raising her hand.
For sure, I would.
I wasn't drunken. I was like 7 or whatnot. But yeah, and I remember Myers when they're like the original Walmarts.
Yeah, the original kind of. Yeah. Timmy, you know what time it is, buddy?
I do. I think I know exactly what time it is.
Do you want some music or no?
I mean, you can accompany.
It's been a while since you had the music. Let me give you the music. Let me, your sultry voice. You need the music.
Yep. There
it is, brother.
There it is.
Yeah. Shaft. No, that's just. I feel like Isaac, whatever his name is, I forget it. Isaac Williams is going to come on and scare the shit out of us here in a second. But it was interesting going to the game the other day because you get you get all the entertainment at halftime. It wasn't really quite entertainment, in the natural sense, like a band or anything. But the announcer came on before the entertainment came out, and you know what he said, right?
What did he say, Tim?
He said, "Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Atlanta Falcons versus the Washington Commanders version of the Wednesday Night Live show. Was a loser game for me, but that's okay because we only have winners on this show.
Let's
go down the roster and see who we got in the chat. The first one out of the gate, we got Robert, not on a billboard, lawyer in the house. He was in the room all by himself. I felt bad. He was reaching out for response, and so I had to oblige. I said, "Hey, Robert, I'm sorry. We're experiencing a shift in the seasons right now, and yes, it's getting darker earlier, and I don't know if that brings on some latent depression, but we'll get through it. We'll get through it because summer comes again next year, and we'll survive." Who else? We got a special guest in the chat tonight too. We'll get to that when we get down there. Actually, let's not waste any more time. He's right there, right after the earlier conversation. We got Paul Labworks, Hot Dog and a Beer Blamire on the show.
Wait, whoa. Paul, why the hell he's like supposed to be a co-host of this freaking show?
He's co-hosting from the chat. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's keeping everybody entertained. Well, Paul, first of all, we hope that your injury is healing up.
Yes.
That I'm pretty sure had it gotten to any sort of a certain point, they would have rebuilt you like the Bionic Man. They would have made you stronger, faster. You would have been another Steve Majors. So just hope you're doing a lot better there, brother. We got Steve Emoji King Tottenham in the house. Mr. Steve, good to see you. Great to have you back here on the show as always. We got Don the Scirocco Iacco. That's his new mafia name. Don the Scirocco Iacco. Yes, sir. And Don, I feel your pain, brother. We went to the Priest Alice Cooper show a couple weeks back. It was pretty recently. I've lost track of all the events that we go to, but it was $50.
Yep.
$50. He said he spent $30 for a double rum and coke at the pre-show. We were getting the Kona gut busters, like the big ones. It was $50.
Yep.
For two of those.
Yep.
And it's hot, so you're drinking them. You're like, okay, I gotta basically mortgage a house just to go to a concert anymore. Who else we got in here? Let's see. We got. This one's always a tough one for me because every time I see James's name, it's Spillane.
Yeah, Spillane. He's also a board member.
Right, but I think of Stallone, so I go down the mafia route. So James, not the mafia. Spillane is in the house.
He's still cooler than what he is. Come on. Hey,
Lindsay, I thought he was going to go Spagoli for a second. I thought he was going to go straight to Spagoli, and I was like, "Don't go there,
okay,
Tim."
Fine. If you want to go there, then we're going to rename. Call
him Jimbo for me.
Okay, well, Jimbo, we're going to rename you. You're not going to be. You're not going to be James, not the mafia Spillane. We're just going to say, James. Hey, there's no party in here for me. Spillane is in the house. Good to see you, James. Welcome back to the show. And then, of course, we got Mallory. Do it your damn self, Gates, coming in strong.
Hey, Timmy. Just to reenact it, I got my Vans right here, brand new ones.
Dude, hear that? That's my skull.
That's my skull, dude.
Sorry, Kim. I invited you to, you didn't know you were going to the pool house at 40 hours.
I'll go get my cart.
Anyway, that's it. We got 13 watching in on us, so everybody behave.
Hi, everybody.
Everybody.
Behave.
Show us your boobs.
Yeah. Hey, wait. No, don't do that. Wrong podcast, Lindsay.
I can't reach down that far.
I went to yours, John, not mine.
Y'all forget I'm from New Orleans.
Hold on. Let me go get my beads. No, I'm kidding.
No. That didn't work.
Yeah, let's head on over to Kim. Kim, tell us a little bit about your vape journey, how you got to where you're at today, and go.
Okay, back in 2014, I was putting on my class reunion, and one of my classmates was there to help. And I said, let's go have a cigarette. She goes, I quit. And I said, bull, you smoke more than I do. Well, I tried her vape, left, let her finish decorating, ran where she told me to. And you know those guys with the big man bun and the big gauge earrings that calls everybody dude?
Dude.
I go in there and I say, I need help. And he goes, I got you, dude. You know, just that kind of stuff. And he didn't help me. And I go back 2 days later. He didn't help me. After I spent like $700, I got mad. And I thought I'd learn it. And I learned it. And I opened my first vape store in 2015.
Yeah.
And then...
That's 10 years ago. Way to go.
Yeah. Well, and then we opened 2 other ones. And then we've got a fourth. But let me see. I was part of that Pacific group that we sued the FDA.
Pacific Legal Foundation, right?
Pacific Legal Fund, right. In 2018. We have fought tooth and nail with the state of Michigan and Governor Whitmer ever since.
Whitmore, yeah.
But right now, we don't have any tax and we don't have any flavor ban in Michigan. But last Wednesday, they dropped a registry bill.
Oh, okay.
It's in the House. It's going to go to the Senate, the whole 9 yards. We don't have any money in Michigan. Beg your pardon? Oh, I didn't hear. We don't have any money in Michigan, and we're not organized. God, I watched Florida last week and was sick. And so there's it's a ragtag bunch, and we go to Lansing, and we realize that politicians have really thin skins, so we attack them with memes, and we target them, embarrass them, and we send a lot of postcards and just things like that. We don't have, it's guerrilla warfare here,
right?
Because we have no money.
That's grassroots.
Right.
But you guys have done awesome. The fact that Michigan's like the 5th largest state, like, in population or whatnot, 5th largest and with vapors and smokers and everything. You guys have done a very good job as far as you are pretty much like one of the, like you in Minnesota are like one of the last states that are like really large that does not have a flavor ban.
Yeah.
California, and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So you guys we're team, like the Little Rascals, kind of going on that one. But you also, sorry, John, I just want her to talk a little bit more about this if she can. Yeah. Back when the vaping lung injuries were going on. Yeah. And Whitmer was the Michigan was the first one to do this reactionary flavor ban policy. Can you talk more about how you guys actually did all kind of get together to get an emergency committee hearing to kind of counter these proposals, but really didn't go any? I mean, they didn't go anywhere. Mark had to go sue and everything. We even talk more about that.
We started the MVSO. There's a large chain of vape store. It's a tobacco shop that sells vapes in Michigan.
I'll sit here and say Wild Bills, y'all.
Yes. And they decided that they were going to deal with the governor, and they agreed without any input to I think it was 28% tax. And a few of us mom and pop vape shops got together. There was Lloyd and the late Allie and Mark Sliss, which everybody knows, Eric, Mark Borgman. There was a bunch of us, and Angela and her husband and Jerry Vapor. We got together and we said, you're not going to make the rules for us. And anyway, it happened. It didn't go through, which is amazing to me. That we've made it this far. But now everybody is, and that was the whole, Lindsey, I've talked to Lindsey forever about youth vaping. There isn't a youth vaping problem. I can tell you that. I'm in a college town in Big Rapids,
state.
But there isn't. But I did have a father come into my store when I was working, and he threw a vape at my head. and was swearing at me about his 14-year-old daughter. So I went down and I picked it up and I said, she didn't buy this here. And he got madder when I explained that it was THC.
Yeah.
I bet.
And the school brings me boxes of what they confiscate. It's all THC. And in Michigan, it doesn't have to have THC stamped on it. And they put them in Geek Vape batteries and they put them in these batteries. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's what the problem is. And the government is willingly letting us conflate the two.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's what they're talking about when they talk about youth vaping is up. Well, you can drink water and you can drink whiskey. You know, they're not the same.
Yeah, they're not the same. Yeah.
You can't get it through. You know, we can't break through, and they know that, you know, get. So that's kind of where we're at right now is they're using marijuana as the excuse to outlaw vaping.
Yeah, and the sad part is a lot of that stuff is black market. So these kids aren't going somewhere and buying this. So it makes me laugh when a parent gets that upset about this product when they realize that they're not getting it at vape shops. And the only reason they are getting them on the black market off the street is because of all the stupid flavor bans and all the other nonsense that's going around from city to city. And, you know, I don't understand why that doesn't click. That light doesn't go on, that these are the products that are not getting at vape shops. They're not getting them at convenience stores. They're not getting them at bodegas. They're getting them off their buddies, their friends at school, or somebody off the street. It just upsets me that they can't realize that's where this product is coming from, that these kids are getting.
Well, if you come to Michigan, we've got a vape, a marijuana store on every corner, which is it's absolutely fine. You know, get rid of pharmaceuticals. But the problem is when they're doing right now, it's Croptober, so the prices are, you know, so it's like get 25 carts for $50. Yeah, mom and dad aren't going to know if they're missing a couple of carts.
Yeah.
You know, they just aren't.
Right.
So that seems to be my biggest problem.
Yeah, but I feel like too, I mean, you know, being that we live in a technological age, which is just so far removed from, you know, I mean, our era, I mean, I'm 57, so I mean, I'm not some spring chicken, but I mean, computers and the internet weren't really quite like what it is today. I just sort of feel like
the abacus. Sorry. You remember the abacus? That's what you're used to.
I do remember the I remember the abacus rather well, or just you know, bartering stones. You know, that's all we did.
That's for Easter.
But you know, the youth today have already mastered the back channel, right? So you know, and I think the ignorance of some of the older people who, you know, quote unquote, are our leaders and are, you know, leading the fight, you know, they miss that point. You know, they just think that it's like, oh, we're still just walking into 5 and dime shops and buying everything. I mean, no.
Shh, Lindsay, let him speak. Lindsay, let him speak.
She's fine. I don't mind. But
I know, but it cuts when someone talks over somebody, guys. The recording after is all mumbled and you can't understand what the people are saying. So let's really try not to talk over each other. It's something I should have talked before the show, but it gets mumbled out and nobody can understand either one. So let's work on that. Okay, ahead, Tim.
Anyway, I mean, I think I more or less kind of made the point, but I mean, it's just the sheer ignorance of the people that are really kind of our primary foes. Is the messaging is twisted. Like Kim said, it's completely conflated. We have this one common, you know, verb that describes the action, but you know, I always sort of made the parallel. I'm like, you know, well, what if I came out tomorrow and I said that like all diabetics are dying from injecting, you know, and then you look at that statement at its face, and it's like, and it's like, but it's not the insulin that's the problem. It's the heroin or the fentanyl that's in the needle that's doing the most damage. So, you know, it's just a shame that we have to sort of fight this nonsensical fight. And I've always felt that, you know, like when we were kids and we were looking for the next best thing, if you want to call our forays into doing things we shouldn't have done, but vaping was a thing in the beginning because when we saw kids sort of abusing it, right? And I'm not talking about kids that are, just have vapes. When I say abusing it or bastardizing it, they were taking like 10 joules and putting them in styrofoam cups and then inhaling through a styrofoam cup to do what? It wasn't about to enjoy that mango flavor. It was about how much can I spin my brain so I darn near pass out because that's fun. And so I feel like the vaping fad transitioned to the THC stuff because the strength at which some of those THC carts are out there. Yeah. I mean, you're going for a loop, if you're hitting it enough. So I don't know. It's just a lot of it's nonsensical to me. They're just the people in government are just ignorant.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
I don't even know. I haven't up to them.
All right, yeah, go. Can you tell us a little bit about your shops?
Well, I'm an aging boomer, and I mean, I turned 64 last Monday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Birthday.
Thank you. But my whole goal. My grandfather died of lung cancer. My husband died of lung cancer. I'm more worried about the parents of these kids not dying of lung cancer. And so, it's moose juice. No self-respecting teenager is going to go into a place that doesn't sell booze named moose juice. It's an older person's thing. And I'm finding with the older people, I've got an 80-year-old guy. I always put my pictures on Facebook. I'm going to start doing it on X now. But I take a picture of them, how long they smoked and how they quit from that.
Yay!
Yep. And
she also did a golden oldies videos. I'm not trying to interrupt and fuck up the thing, but I'm sharing this with our chat right now. She did a golden oldies video back in 2020, and Michigan did with the golden oldies video. Her and a bunch of shops collected so many videos for me. I think I had over 120 of them. When it came down to the gist of them, I mean, it was kind of disgusting. Like, it was over like 10,000 years smoked. Okay, when I because I had to listen to all of them. I put it into a spreadsheet and everything and whatnot. But I mean, I had some really good things. And if you guys want to share her golden oldies, because I think it's one of the things that she talks about her husband passing away. And I mean, it's in moose juice. You see moose juice behind her. I like, the way that she was pimping out her.
That's pimping the store out there.
Yeah, you should have. I'm glad for you for doing that. You should, and and thank you for, that was like 2020 when you guys were dealing with all that, and we were able, those videos, I do think were a little bit effective. We couldn't get the people out there, but we're able to get their stories, or at least the gist of them.
And that absolutely scares politicians to see older people my age with that sign saying, "I quit smoking," because that's the voter base. And so that's why I use those so much when I'm dealing with politicians, is because, 21-year-olds hit and miss if they're going to vote. But when I've got a 68-year-old woman standing there, "I quit smoking by this." Michigan, we estimate, has 900,000 vapors. And
no, well, maybe now. No, it's got more. I did the numbers. It's got like 979, right?
You're right. It's huge. And we own that. We own that number. We own that.
It's even more now. No. In 2023, it was 673.
It's a lot more than that now. I mean, but
that's the CDC numbers. But I'm waiting for the 2024 numbers. But
that's a huge voting block that we've got to organize, and that's what we're not doing. Is we're not organizing this voting block in Michigan, because that actually gives us power, especially with the election coming up next year. And in Michigan, I don't mean to sound this political, but it's 100% of the Democrats are against vaping, and it's 100% of the Republicans for vaping. And, I want, you talk to the Democrats independently when you go into their offices, and they understand, but they can't flip, because of what it is. So I just see us as having this huge voting block if we could ever organize, and using it for gain,
Well, okay. I had a Democratic senator from Rhode Island, that state senator that complimented me on my last op-ed. So I don't think it's more of a Democrat or Republican game at all, but I think I think all of them are kind of clueless, unfortunately. And I think they're getting bombarded with a lot of, data data and using with quotes from all of the sides. And it's really hard
we found that with Deanna Marshall, with Deanna and Ron. Ron was a Republican representative, but when push came to shove, it doesn't matter if it's Democrat or Republican. When they're playing the game, it is right now here.
Yeah.
They know better. It's that money that just gets me.
It's money.
Absolutely. And it's Michigan too. In Michigan, and you didn't bring up anything about the MSA. Michigan's actually the worst state with one of the worst states with the master settlement agreement. Like when I went down there before the hearing for the flavor ban retraction or whatnot, there was something else that I went down there, and I remember sitting there with the senators telling them about how it was you have Michigan. So for people who don't know what the MSA is, the master settlement agreement, the tobacco companies got sued. All these states get all this money in perpetuity. You had some states that decided that they were going to kind of cash out on it because they're expecting to get this money in future years, and they're not getting that money. Michigan's one of the worst states. When I was going through it, they are completely underwater. It's kind of like the housing crisis. They're completely underwater on the money that they took out, and they took that out during the 2008 financial crisis. When I fled Michigan, actually myself, but I remember talking to lawmakers and. It wasn't even the staffer. The lawmaker had no idea what I was talking about, and the staffer was like, "Oh, that's when we securitized it." And it's like, you didn't securitize anything. You got it. You have to pay on it, and the money that you were expecting to pay on it is no longer. It's not going into it. So, do you know any more about that? You live there.
There has been no increase. I get people send me things, and Roscommon County got some grant, and it goes through Bloomberg, blah, blah, blah. It's all NGO stuff. And they sent me this, and it had popcorn lung. It had this, it had that. And they were taking it to the schools and teaching it. And so I went to the health department. I threw myself around a little bit. I was a little mouthy. And you show them, you show them the proof, and they don't want to believe you because I'm an evil vape store owner, and this is the government, And so when it comes to it, they get believed.
Kim, let me ask you, when you are talking to representatives there in Michigan, in your city, in your state, do you feel that they are educated in our industry at all? Or do you feel like they don't care? They don't need to understand this product. They're just going to always ban it or tax it or do something about it to get rid of it?
Well, in Michigan, we waste so much money. It's unbelievable. And instead of cutting waste, they're looking to find a way for more money
to
waste. And And in a lot of the politicians' eyes, when I'm talking to them and they're telling me how much money they're losing because of vaping, there isn't an excise tax on it or anything. I'm just like, you can't convince them. You can't get them to understand that they will save Medicaid and Medicare money, that it would, it's going to take a few years, but it will equal itself out.
Yeah. A dead person doesn't pay taxes.
Right. They're trying to get it now. And I mean, when I go to Lansing, there's this donut shop called Cops and Donuts in Clare. It's kind of famous in Michigan. I'll get a dozen donuts, and I think I'm a big deal going into their office with the Cops and Donuts. Yeah. When they've been golfing with Altria the day before and had a crab leg and ribeye dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Your donuts are like, yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
Like, okay, she's a Jack Pine Savage. Let's just shove her off,
Yeah, that's funny. Because
I think a lot of it's willful ignorance, though, too.
Yeah.
I think they intentionally don't want to hear it. It's like the la 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 la. I'm not listening to you because I have to deal with the lobbyists and the donors and the people who are going to bring me the coin. I'm not so much concerned with your logical, realistic arguments for this case. I'm listening to the greenback dollar over here.
Well, credit where it's due. We had the Senate Majority Leader. His name is Eric Nesbitt. He fought hard for us last year because we had the regulatory bill that was going to pass a year ago, August, and he never ever got it out of committee. And I'm grateful to him. I mean, he listened. He listened to us. He knew vapors. He talked to them, and he's the only one I know of that did. Yeah, out of everyone.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to interrupt here. By the way, Michigan has term limits on these lawmakers.
Yes.
Okay, and it's not like term limits in some of the states where they can flip around from the Senate to the House or whatnot. They got term limits. So when I sat there with the lawmakers back in like 2019 and them not knowing anything about the MSA, it made sense. Okay, it's like, oh, of course your staff knows because no, they're staffers, and you don't know it because you've only been here for 2 years. Yeah. And it makes it when you're looking at the state level, there is a case, against term limits or whatnot. But I do, Kim, you guys have been doing an awesome job, by the way. I mean, with the Threadbare team, you're kind of like the little rascals, and and
the little engine that could, we want to keep it going. And my customers, and a lot of customers, are becoming so much more educated.
Good.
And somebody, I can't remember who, but they posted today, and it was so true, that cigarette smoking, it will kill, or vaping might be habit forming, but smoking a cigarette is lethal. Right. And the older people are really up. And I had a woman that came in Saturday to see me. She's 74. She quit smoking 9 years ago. She had,
Yay.
Yeah, she's been my customer ever since. I make,
good.
And she's wonderful. Her doctor, she didn't tell her doctor that she quit smoking by vaping, and he's just all proud of himself. And, well, you did it. And everything. She said, well, my vape, and he went nuts on her.
Yeah.
Might as well buy a pack of cigarettes. She goes, I'm getting a new doctor. I'm just like,
good for her.
Yeah.
Awesome for her. Yeah, that's what I do. If I don't like them, if they don't like what they say, I get a new doctor. Sorry.
She didn't tell him before, and then when she tells him a year later, oh, I did it by vaping, and then well, this isn't science anymore. This is vitriol.
Yeah, that's, but when you educate them, you talk to them. I'm one of those people, you can't come into my store and say, I want a disposable, whatever. You don't get that with me. It's like, do you know how much you're spending a year? You could save $1,400 if you bought this Vriz and I've converted so many that way because they're older people wanting to save money.
Right.
So.
Thank you for for looking after the older folks, because I'm an older folk, and it doesn't seem like many people care nowadays, and I love old people. They've got a whole life experience thing, and they need to be around. They need to be there for their kids. So, they really touched my heart to hear that somebody is out there helping them. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.
I live in a retirement, the town I'm in. I live in the middle of Lake, Michigan. I mean, that's my town. But it's a retirement. This is where people from GM spend the summers on all of our lakes.
Right.
And then they go down to see Lindsey in the winter. And so I have a
snowbirds, the snowbirds.
I'm in Florida too.
Yeah, well, I'm going to end up in Florida. My son lives in Tampa, so.
Hey, girl, you can come. Come down here. I got a room for you.
Okay, we got to find bail money, Lindsey. If
You're good now.
Oh yeah.
No worry. Hey guys.
I got a key to the package store now, so
I'll take care of that for you right now. Hey, everybody out in chat, we're going to start a GoFundMe just for bail money for Lindsey and Michelle.
And we're going to need a lot.
I'll have the link out. I'll start the cap high. Yeah, I'm right, but probably about 25,000 to get you three out. So yeah, guys.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
The thumbnail for the GoFundMe will be you three holding a sign with numbers on it and saying Tampa Bay, Florida Police Department.
The front side, yeah.
Actually, we'd probably get arrested more like in Alabama, because that's where I live. I live in LA, baby. Alabama. You don't know if you're in, you don't know if you're in Florida or Alabama.
Yeah.
Right. All that big land.
The same people, yeah, from up here.
I picture Lindsey, that person that's standing right at the edge of the county line, and she's stepping over on one side. Now you can't do nothing. Now you can't. Now you can't. Now you can't. Now you can't.
Yeah. Like Skyjack Steve. Oh, maybe I'll come down. Maybe I won't.
What are you gonna do now?
Oh shit! You're getting down.
I'm in Florida now. Ooh.
Can't touch me.
The cop's just like, come over here. Come over here.
Yeah.
Come over here. Step on this side.
So are you going to ask him the questions you asked Dan last week?
And Jeffrey, yeah, I had no idea that was going on. I knew things were getting bad in Mexico. I saw an article the other day, and I had it bookmarked, but I never got a chance to read it. But yeah, I heard things are getting pretty ugly over there. But it was anyway. I think since 2000, I think
they have one. Now Mexico's weird. Okay,
yeah, it is.
State in there that's like the government has no control over it and
right.
stuff. You remember like 2 years ago when those like 13-year-olds were selling vapes or whatnot, and the guys, ran them down the road or something, and this is what, and with signs that they're naked, and with signs like this is what happens when you sell vapes without permission.
Yeah.
And the FDA, who knows? Donald Trump, I think we might start doing that soon.
Yeah, I mean,
American citizens.
Yeah, you want to talk about corrupt? You want to talk about corrupt police force? Just go to Mexico. Yeah. You got. Looks like you only have about 70 psi in that tire. We're going to have to fine you $100.
Mm-hmm.
The vapes will just end up in the hands of the cartels, and then they won't care. So
yeah.
They'll put THC in them.
Yeah, the other
fentanyl.
Yeah, I like the so-called tax that they use in Mexico. It's like, you want that chair? I got to tax you on that chair. You want to sit? Yeah, it's insane. It's like how close? Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. Tim, you don't mind, Kim, but we're going to jump into this real quick article for our Alabama folks that are out there. And we have a few that are out in Alabama. I think I put it in private chat, didn't I, Tim?
I have Kim's Golden Oldies link that Lindsey so kindly supplied. I don't have.
Yeah, it should be the first one in there. It says,
you failed, sir. That's
it's in there. Nothing else in that.
Hold on, copy. we'll do
He was so excited again.
Well, once we read the article, we'll share Kim's golden oldie.
Yeah, we'll share that. Yeah, there it is. It should be in
now. It's showed up in the private chat.
Timmy.
Now it's here.
Skirt.
Exactly.
Bama.
All right.
Gotta share that Bama.
Hold on. I got a lot of buttons to click. Hold on. Technology, and I'm old. I'll get. I promise I'll get there.
You got carpal tunnel in your mouth,
and you do this, and then you
He's
do
got a white
that, and then you get here. Hey, and guess what showed back up on our screens, folks? The Coolfire P60.
The Coolfire P60 always makes it show
out on the market. So everybody grab you a Coolfire P60.
Not sponsored by the show, by the way.
Exactly, not sponsored by the show. Just have to acknowledge the advertisements. All right, hold on for the reading glass community. Hold on one second.
Yeah, you're laughing now.
I'm sorry. I can't make it any bigger. You just suffer, okay?
That's what he said.
I can't even read it.
I'm gonna read it for you anyway, so it doesn't matter. You don't need to know.
Faster than you read.
Literacy is not a challenge on this show. I'll take care of that part for you. Many vapors across Alabama will face higher prices as early as Wednesday as the patchwork of local taxes begin to take effect. Local municipalities have rushed to pass vape taxes before a state law takes effect that prevents them from passing new taxes on vaping products after October 1st. The Alabama state legislature passed a bill in early May that will impose a 10-cent per milliliter wholesale tax on e-liquid with and without nicotine, which makes absolute sense, doesn't it?
Right.
Like, let's tax the thing that we
have a vape directory bill. Okay, so I mean, it's kind of a mute thing. Like, so they're taxing only Reynolds products, but go on.
I find it comical when they want to tax the thing without nicotine. We're going to tax you for the thing that should be in there, but because it's not, we're still going to tax you for that. Beginning in this month, next year, October 2026. Sorry, I got lost on an island, didn't know where I was. That law also specifically prohibits local governments from passing their own e-liquid taxes after October 1st, 2025, that was yesterday. Notwithstanding any other provision of this act, an act of the legislature or an ordinance or resolution by a tax. I feel like, should we now play the Conjunction Junction song?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for too.
What's your function?
Yeah. A taxing authority passed or enacted on or before October 1st, 2025, imposing or providing for the levy of a local tax. I feel like I'm reading a legal statement. Local tax or license fee shall remain operative. However, no additional local tax or license fee may be levied on the sale of consumable vapor products after the effective date of this act, says, and the bill actually spoke. HB 529. Since local officials became aware of the time limit, cities and towns across the state have been in a race to pass their own taxes before the cutoff date.
Sketchy.
Yeah, that's just rude. A portion of the state tax, when it takes effect, will go to counties 25% and municipalities 25% based on their population. But many
allegedly, Tim.
Allegedly, that's right. Yeah. I can't. Guilty, innocent before proven guilty, right?
That is true.
But many city leaders have decided that their share of that pie may be much smaller than what they could generate by imposing their own taxes. Cities and counties that assess their own tax will not receive any of the state tax revenue, but small business owners will have to pay both taxes and deal with the taxing authorities. And the new excise costs will be added to the prices consumers pay. As with any local tax, many consumers will avoid it by traveling to businesses in nearby jurisdictions without a tax or by buying online. In either case, local businesses will suffer. Some cities have passed their own 10-cent milliliter tax. Others have opted for lower tax rates, but no matter the rate, the statewide tax will add another 10 cents per milliliter to prices next year, which will hurt both consumers and local retailers. Although we don't have a comprehensive list, some of the cities that have already adopted new local taxes are Chelsea, Decatur, Dothan, Fairhope, Foley, Gulf Shores, Muscle Shoals, Orange Beach, and Spanish Fort. The city council in Mobile is it's Mobile, correct? I'm saying that correctly? Mobile? Is it Mobile?
No, Mobile.
Is it Mobile? Okay.
Mobile.
I already got to deal with DeKalb.
It's Mobile.
You gotta add that Alabama slang to it.
Mobile.
It's Mobile.
Mobile.
City council in Mobile, second largest city in
That
Alabama.
was good.
Will debate a proposed tax ordinance today, according to NBC 15 News. 6 U.S. states, including Alabama, have passed laws to create or increase vape taxes so far this year. Yeah.
It makes me laugh. You know, they don't want to be called shady. They don't want to be called backdoor, deals. And,
what pisses me off about that article is the fact there's nothing mentioned about the fact that Alabama is like back in like 2 years ago already had the vape directory bill going through. They actually have a vape directory website not a website, but you can get onto their Department of Revenue or something and actually find out like what vapes you're allowed to sell in the Yellowhammer state. So there's nothing mentioned in that article. So wait, there's a vape tax going in. What vapes? Is it these Chinese illicit vapes, or I'd like?
Yeah.
So does Alabama have a directory bill passed?
They've had it passed since like 2021.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
or not 2021. I mean, they've had it passed for several years.
Yeah,
several years.
It's not just really heavily enforced. Louisiana was the one that got passed.
I knew I knew as soon as I put it up, she was gonna put her head down and
I think I was so hungover that day.
Hey, I want to sit here saying you look just as good as you did on that day, and that thing's from like 5 years ago. All right, so you did that in 2020. I was like, wow, like when I was like rewatching, I was like, way to go, Kim! You sound just as happy and enthusiastic, even though a lot has happened in the past half decade.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm 59 years old, and I smoked for 38 years. I was able to quit smoking the first time I tried vaping. I vape on black coffee now, 3 milligrams, and I've vaped now for about 7 years. This is really personal for me. I lost my husband to lung cancer when he was 49, and that was 18 years ago. If vaping would have been around, I would still have my husband today. Flavors help us quit. It is such a feeling of accomplishment to be smoke-free. I'm an adult. Let me choose which way I want to quit smoking. Quit banning flavors. You're only hurting people like me. Thank you.
I wasn't the drama kid.
Hey.
I wasn't in the drama club, obviously.
That was great.
You're not acting. You're telling the
You're
truth.
not acting. That's what you're gonna say. You're not acting. You're not. Yeah.
Hey, I had a script. She didn't keep on script, but her video is still effective. Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Too many rules, right? You just gotta, kind of swing it with it sometimes.
She kept on like, I wanted, the one thing with keeping on script with those videos is I wanted to know how many years you had smoked, like how old you were, so I could put it into a spreadsheet to be able to give those numbers out. So I don't care if you add it to it. The only problem was that it's like, man, I'm trying to edit this shit. You guys just gave me like 3, extra minutes of what was supposed to be a 30-minute bit.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Kim. That video was done 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. Are you still as optimistic as you were back then than you are today?
Oh God, yes. My stores, I take pictures of everyone. I try to. And I think we're over 4,000 people now.
Nice.
Awesome.
That we've got to quit smoking. The people that have quit vaping come in to visit. They hang out like it's the old style general store. I've got coffee going. They come in and visit. It's a place to hang. I am excited because they feel better. They tell me every day how much better they feel. And who wouldn't feel good about that? I mean,
yeah. Let me ask you another question. As far as today, like what do you feel needs to be done that hasn't been done? And say that since you've opened your vape shop and started vaping, what do you feel like we're missing in advocacy?
What I feel we're missing, to be totally honest with you, is there are so many advocacy groups. I wish we could boil it down to one.
Just national group.
One national group, okay? And, you know, that everybody can, we've got a place to turn. Like I've got a registry bill that was dropped last week. I'm sitting here working on postcards I'm going to buy from Vistaprint to make sure that every politician gets 5 or 6 of them, you know, to scare them, because next year's an election year. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. And I just wish we had one group where we could put everything we've all done in our states together, you know, and come up with a winning formula that doesn't cost $1 million, because the little mom and pop stores, I mean, in Michigan, it's either gas stations, a big chain, or a few mom and pop stores.
Right.
440. I think we're down to like 70 in Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have one national organization that represents the whole industry as a whole, and just you can still have chambers in each state or each county or whatever you want to do, and still have those same representatives shooting for the same goal that organization is doing nationally. And I don't understand why we've never gotten to that point where we've had just one group that was representing us, and a group that you can trust, you know, with funds and money, that it was going to go to where it's supposed to go and used for what it's supposed to be used for. It would be great. I would love that.
Well, we have all of the tools. If we could just find an ultimate organizer to put it together. We've got Lindsey's numbers. We've got all of the components we need to be a powerhouse. But we're like, it's like chasing kittens, you know, or rounding cats up. It's just, you know, I'm thrilled to death if I post something, I'm targeting a politician. If it gets shared on Facebook or Twitter, I'm thrilled, you know.
Yeah,
we need
exactly.
to start sharing more to get it out there.
We do.
Algorithms, you know.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that 110%, because you know, it doesn't even have to be that good of a tweet. Just get it out there. Get it to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
But you know, people don't want their independent.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about that in a post a couple of days ago about just us being stuck in this echo chamber where it's just us. You know, we're just shouting to each other, and it doesn't seem like our stuff is getting out there. I can't. Can you, either anybody on this panel, remember the last post that was vaping related that actually went viral?
No.
I've never had a post of mine that's gone vaping.
I know there's one. I just
got beds or whatnot that have not gotten viral, actually. And like the one that got the most comments on is like, why are lawmakers more concerned about youth vaping than opioids or whatnot? And that's from 2019. It's a terrible. Like, do not go look that one up. Okay, it's terrible writing. But
the highest number I got was 127 or something like that. I mean, it was a good amount, but it wasn't viral by any means.
I can't remember. I know we've had one. I just can't remember how far back it was.
Well, to Kim's point, I mean, there's so much fragmentation, and I've been sitting here saying it for years that, I mean, imagine if Campaign for Tobacco Free Kids and Truth Initiative didn't talk to each other, let alone try to one-up each other, okay? Right. I mean, that is what we're dealing with, you know, and on our side of the aisle, I mean, and there's still a place for all of these organizations. Okay. I'm not like, and some of y'all that have seen my personal posts or whatnot, clearly, you know, I'm pissed off at several organizations, but I still think there's a spot at the table for them. I just, you know,
with our situation, I think, I kind of understand the business side of it and why there was so much controversy between the distributors, the manufacturers, the vape shops, and the websites. Everybody wants something a little bit different.
Honestly, I joined in 2016, and I remember when I was like wet behind the ears doing a podcast with all of the acronym organizations. I kept fucking up one of them and stuff, but I'm like, and I came I was working for lawmakers, and it was so interesting because all these groups were like, oh, well, these lawmakers don't understand it. It was like, well, of course they don't freaking understand it. You're sitting here, you're not big tobacco, yet you're representing a product that is a tobacco product and everything. You have some crazy freaking acronym that they're not going to freaking remember at all, or when they got a billion other bills that they're dealing with. So I did, and you're not coming on. I mean, when you New York's the best example of it. Like, when you're looking at the 2019 in the flavor bans, I mean, you got like 4 different groups on our side, and then you have the big tobacco companies that are coming in on it and their own end and stuff. So I mean, it would be nice if on our side of the aisle that we could at least have some of the same messaging.
Right.
When you look at the youth developing brain, flavors hook kids, I mean, and these are parroted on, these came from the opponent group, and they're parroted by the lawmakers, the policymakers who decide to have access to these. I mean, and that comes out of them. And even look at it right now, the fucking Trump administration is sitting here, they're McCarry or whatever, how you pronounce his name, or I don't know if it was him or whoever sat here and said, like, there's a youth vaping epidemic. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, the Biden administration's fucking center said there wasn't one.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I think like we had a lot, like Kim has brought up. We had your numbers, we had CASA, we had a couple other groups. It would have been nice if they would have just merged together at some point in time and figured it out and tried to make it work.
My numbers.
Hold on.
Earlier.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
They would have just. I think they needed to have some show of force and have every key element that we needed and representation for every aspect of this industry. And we didn't have that. We've never had that. We've had the consumers. We've had advocacy groups that were based on distributors. We had advocacy groups that were based on shop owners, websites. We've never had a group that actually just said, hey, this is our mission statement. We're going to save vaping. We're going to try our best to save these aspects that are going to help each and one of you get through and keep vaping alive and keep people from having to deal with going 2 miles down the road so they can go into another county so they can buy a flavored vape. And for me, I understand that business that everybody's trying to make money in this industry. But like Kim got into this because she saw something that was helping people. It helped her. And that was the way it was in the early stages. The early stages of this industry, these were guys that were doing stuff, and ladies, sorry, that were doing stuff in their back, in their houses, in their garages, that were making liquids, and that were, I remember Facebook group pages that were just loaded with people selling e-liquid, and before it really kind of took off, and all of a sudden we have these distributors, we got websites, everybody's arguing with the vape shop, and the websites, all the websites are selling it cheaper. I get that. I mean, I used to hate when a customer would come into one of our stores and say, well, I can get this online. That's got to be frustrating as fucking hell for a store owner to constantly keep hearing that. It's like, well, I can get this bottle of e-liquid for, $18. Why should I pay $24 for it here? Well, number one, convenience. You're getting it today. So
I do want to say Lloyd Patton is in here, and Lloyd is incredible. On his own time, his own expense, he made up these booklets using Lindsey's numbers and everything else. And he and I went to every lawmaker in Lansing, got a copy of the book that Lloyd made. And it wasn't a thin book. And it was so comprehensive that if you read it, you'd say, yeah, I'm for vaping. And he's had to close his store to meet me in Lansing before. because we're all one-man operations now because gas stations are selling Temu vapes.
Yeah.
You know, so
Temu vapes is though it's instead of Chinese illicit disposable Temu vapes. I must start using that one now in all my events and everything.
Hey, we'd love to have, if Lloyd would ever love to come on the show, we'd love to have you on the show. You can, Lindsey, do you know Lloyd by any chance, or get?
I think I met him once, but I don't think I remember seeing that booklet. Did you like?
He did it last summer when the registry bill came up.
Did he cite me? That's all I care about.
He cited you, yes. The books are fabulous. And Lloyd would be fabulous on here. He's an educator. I mean, he comes off, I learned from vaping from him. But what I wanted to say is when this all started out, you were talking about, people arguing. When I started my vape store, I made my own juice. There was no license or anything, the Moose Juice brand. Then I met Lloyd. I met all of these people, that were making juice. The only juices I carried in my store were Michigan-made juices. It was in Michigan where I could call up the manufacturer.
Right.
Yep. And it didn't matter if it was Detroit Rock Candy. It didn't matter if it was Lloyd. It didn't matter if it was Matt. There was just so many. I could pick up the phone and call these people. It gave my customers such a sense of, yes, we can go to these people. This isn't black market. It's not unknown.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you trusted your source. I mean,
they all got out of business. I mean, most of them, Lloyd and Angela, and there's one other that are still making juice, but it's just for their own store now, because the demand went from vaping the big open systems with clouds. Everybody bitched about the clouds. Well, now you got disposable.
Yeah. The cloud thing was funny.
That's when I started doing the research on this.
Yeah.
Wait, you remember vaping like those cloud bros?
Yeah.
And I met people and I was like, oh wait, this isn't just cloud bros actually.
Yeah. When I first started, that was and going to the shows, in the early days, seeing the cloud comps and for me. I get it, the big giant clouds, whatever, but I didn't get that impression when I walked into my first vape show. What I got out of it was just, I looked around and I was shocked because it wasn't a bunch of 21-year-olds. It was a huge mixed group of individuals. I was shocked. That was the first thing that shocked me, is because I thought I was going to walk into this convention in San Diego. That was my first one. And I thought it was just going to be a bunch of, 21-year-old, 21, 25-year-olds. When I walked in there and I see guys in their 50s and 60s walking around testing juice, looking at the new hardware, and in some of the some of them were even in the cloud competition, building, and I was just like, this is crazy. I could see how this was going to take off earlier because I didn't see that. And then every vape show after that I have been to, and I've been to a lot of them because I go and take photos and stuff for Zamplebox and some other things. I was shocked. It was never just one group of people. It wasn't these 21 to 25-year-olds. It was just, there were 60-year-old, 70-year-old people walking around, testing new stuff out. And I'm like, this is what needs to be seen. This is what we should have been. We shouldn't have been. And I'll take credit. I did it myself, but I felt like us as people that were there to take photos and to put articles out there for these vape conventions and shows were too busy taking pictures of the 21-year-old girls that were behind the booths.
Right. And their cut off shirts.
And the music shows and the giveaways and all this other stuff. What we should have been focusing on is the crowd and showing the 50, 60-year-old guy that's learning how to make his first fucking coil. That was amazing to me. They had a big table there. There's like 20 tables. And all they did there was they taught people how to make their own coils. And just amazing to see everyone had their drills and their screwdrivers and their wrenches and they're learning how to make their very first coils. And I'm thinking to myself, this is amazing. This is what should have been recorded.
That's
this
what
is
advocacy is. Yeah,
Right.
that's what advocacy is, because you don't want anybody to, I mean, there especially, you've got a show where they're selling all these coils, and yet there's a group of just independent people that are coming together and helping one another that they've never even met before, just so that they can make sure that that person isn't going to go home and get a cigarette,
Yeah. These were big time coil makers. These were big time coil makers that were selling coils for $25 a piece, that were sitting there teaching others how to make a Clapton coil, how to make just a standard coil, learning how to do that stuff. And I thought that, to me, I was like, I feel bad now because I should have seen that back then. But in my head, I thought there's no stopping this. And I think, do you guys all feel that way in the early stages of vaping?
I thought it was too big to fail.
Yeah. I was like, there's no way they're stopping this. This surge is going to continue on. But I think that's what we should have focused on, was just the age that was out there, the people that were out there, and showing everyone that this is a group of individuals that are trying to save their lives, period. That's what it was about. It was,
it still is. It's just, it's hard to get people to step up now. They're also tired. And
I carry coils, Medusa coils.
Medusa.
I carry wire. I carry cotton. I just ordered a bunch of RDAs and RTAs.
Nice.
And the reason for that is Michigan, like I said last week, introduced the registry bill, but we're in a budget battle, and I'm scared to death that they're going to give us up. Because it's a 38% tax they're asking for, plus only things on the registry. So I'm just planning for the future. And like Lloyd says, if we could just get one hardware manufacturer in the United States.
It'd be nice. It would be nice. Yeah. Well, we did have a few. I think TCL was, those are different type
independent guys.
Yeah. You had TCL and a couple other groups that were making mods out here, but that was the novice, not so much or the collector, I should say. Pretty much mine was the collector. The two mods were, the two mods went from $50 to all of a sudden, is a $280, two mod.
I've got a display of them in my store.
Me too. I have so many two mods. I have so many two mods, and I'm just like, I sit there and look at them, and I go, I should sell them. Then I'm like, no, I might need one someday, because they're going to take everything else away, and then it'll be nice just to have a two mod where I just have to put a battery in there and grab an RTA or grab an RDA and be at it, Kim, I don't want to call you Kimmy. I'm sure some people call you.
I've been called Aunt Kimmy all day, so
hey, I want to thank you for being on our show. I appreciate you coming on.
You guys,
it was fun getting to know you.
I'm so glad to meet you, Kim.
Hi, Michelle. What?
I know.
What'd you say?
A question before she leaves.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you have a 2-year-old niece? Like, how old is this?
That's my great niece. I don't have any great.
Great niece.
Okay. Like, no offense. I wasn't like trying to call you out on your age, but you sat here and said 2-year-old niece. I was like,
oh, she's my great niece. My kids are too busy vacationing in Europe to give me grandkids. My nephew did, and he's a deputy, and I watch my 2-year-old to get my grandma fix.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciated the time.
Yeah, I want to swing over up to the top. Tim, you can do his goodbyes. We haven't done these. We haven't had like new guests. She got
gone.
She's gone.
It's vanished into thin air.
Gone.
It's funny because her card's still showing up back.
Yeah. I think maybe she paused it. Somebody stepped in front of the camera or something. I don't know. But I want to thank everyone out there in chat. Thank you for always joining us. And it's always a pleasure seeing you guys' names out there. If you're out there too, and don't, like we say it all the time, do not be afraid to chat. Put something in the chat. We love answering your questions. And if you have a specific, if you have a specific person, we do the hashtag and then put Tim or hashtag Lindsey, so we know. But don't be afraid to chat with us, because we got a lot of people on X that are on there, and I know it's difficult for you guys. We don't see your chats in this box here. I have to kind of move them over. But if you're on Twitter or X, I'm sorry, X, and you want to get your stuff out there and for us to see it, you'll have to go over to YouTube or Facebook for us to see your chat. So it's something X, they haven't made an agreement on sharing chat between the two platforms. So if you want to chat and you want to give us a question and you're on X, swing on over to YouTube. And I always post the link to YouTube as well. So, all right, guys, it is Wednesday. It's the end of Wednesday. It's my Friday. It's my Friday. My Friday. And we will be back next week.
Lucky you.
I get to work hopefully a quick 8-hour shift tonight with no problems. But there's a special sickness that's going around right now. So
special sickness. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I guess you can have condoms,
now. I'll tell you. You know what the special sickness is, guys? It's the end of the year is coming up, and you got to use up that sick time. So that's what I call the special sickness. Yeah, you can't waste it. It goes away at the end of the year, so you got to use it up. All right, guys. Everybody, look into the camera and say goodbye to everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Love y'all.